It's going to be sad to see him go, but I'm sure he's got a lot of time on his hands now with his family, and so we wish him all the best. And yeah, hopefully he'll stick his head in around the world sometime and visit us.
Good on you, Taj. We're just trying to take that in right now. Heavy news this morning, but Taj hanging out. He's in a great place. He said he couldn't feel better about this transition in his life. As we now check out the opening wave of the morning here, we've got round 1, heat number 10 in the lineup, because we finished off with heat 9 yesterday. Kelly Slater, 11-time world champ, in the lineup with Kolohe Andino and Miguel Pupo. You saw that quick up and out from Miguel, and that'll be scored as time is taken away in this 30-minute matchup. And Taj had Kelly a couple times, especially in a Pipe Masters win, when he touched on that streak he had went back in the day. Kelly now up deep in the pit at main break, and this one's running off without him.
He managed to win that one, so this is very similar to a point where he wants to win this one.
Now watching the replays from Kelly's last effort here.
Yeah, just pulling in nice and deep there, driving, but that way pinched on him. Very tricky tube ride to come out of there. But Kelly driving off that mid-face turn, just unfortunately not coming out of that one. That would have been a good score though for Kelly. I mean, talk about a super freak.
Now with 25.5 on the clock, you can see that fierce wind chundering up the open face here at main break. Now paddling into the next one, Kolohe Andino. Frontside wrap to start for Andino. Wave staying fairly flat in the face, so he'll just fade real quick. Looking for something solid to work with. Andino throws it vertical off the top. Fighting through the wind well, and now it's a clean little end section hack to finish. Kolohe Andino is probably taking in the news that Taj Burrow is retiring as well.
You know, that radical approach surfing to the next level. Let's have a look at this wave here from Kolohe. That howling offshore, I mean, it's really tricky to ride. You can see even with the offshore wind, Joe, there's a lot of bump on the face, so Kolohe just kind of nursing this one through, waiting for it to stand up. Now he gets that opportunity to go vertical, but generally just a really hard wave to surf here in the morning. Surfing into the wind, but nice finish right there. Those are the kind of waves you want, just that nice easy pace, and Kolohe locks in the best score of the heat.
For a conditions update before we get there, Pete, how are you reacting to the big news of Taj rerouting his career here?
Well, it's been an honor to be part of his career, because we did definitely watch and learn as we watched Miguel Pupo kind of tumble here, and now Kelly taking a look. It is definitely offshore here. I'll touch on Taj in a bit, but Kelly has to steer through this wind, and it is blowing probably 15 to 20 knots up the face. I mean, we like to call that almost devil wind, but it's got enough angle on it that it's offshore, making it pretty, but it is hard to surf. There's plenty of chop up the face, these little like 4 to 6 inch chops that are just chattering. So your board's just half air, half water, so it is hard to ride. Obviously these guys are going to be able to pull it off. That first attempt by Kelly Slater, though, kind of getting underneath Kolohe was unique. Typical Kelly, he's not going to give up to anybody. Typical Kelly, he's going to amaze. We haven't seen any waves like that this morning. But again, to Taj, it has been so fun to watch him. A bit of a surprise to see that he's going to be kind of doing it mid-year, but I love that he's saying, hey, I want to give a seat to the hungrier crew. And
thank you so much, Peter Mel. We'll be checking in with you throughout this matchup as we've had multiple waves ridden so far. Kolohe Andino, big bottom turn, clean layback jam off the top. Here comes that forehand wrap. Now Andino winds up off the top. Solid move, floats the finish and gets out of there. Kolohe already had a 6.33 in the lead, and now a solid second scoring wave. Kolohe Andino spent a lot of time not surfing in the offseason, but came out blazing to that runner-up at Snapper Rocks as we look back on his last wave.
Yeah, nice opening turn right there. You can't get the board too high up over the wave. You've got to just make sure it's all that mid-face stuff. Got to try and keep that speed going down the line, which he does nicely, and finishes off with a nice radical turn. So Kolohe off to a good start, 6.33 on his opening wave. He's going to back it up with another solid score. Kelly Slater, his opening score was a 1.5, backed it up with a 6.83.
And just checking out Kolohe Andino's numbers, his best start ever in his career on tour, making a final at the season opener. putting himself in that top 5 picture at stop number 3. Is a place he hasn't been before. And now we'll take a look back at Kelly's last decision.
Yeah, nice. I mean, one of the best approaches on a wave, period, this guy right here. What's this next turn? Beautiful bottom turn, nice and vertical. That's what you got to do out here at main break. Kelly, that board looks good under his feet, that's for sure. Finishes off nicely. You can see how difficult that wave was to ride. You know, if you look at some of the best guys in the world struggling.
Last wave for Andino comes in at an 8.33.
Wow.
6.33 start. Remember, Kolohe was kind of famous for his air game when he came on tour, and he wanted to prove that he had the whole package, showing a lot of power. Pulling into the barrel now is Kelly. Quick one there into a forehand wrap. Looking for some speed. Front side power gouge in the pocket for Kelly. Now looking to finish throwing that tail high on that inside corner. He'll go down. Kelly improving. Had the 1.5 start, then to a 6.83. Slater hoping for a 7.84 to take the lead.
Kind of looks fired up.
Sure does.
He's got a. he's frothing around in the lineup. That's for sure. I mean, I think Kelly and Kolohe have got a healthy little rivalry going as well. By the way, look at this nice little tube there. Perfect timing. One of the best tube riders on the planet. And if anyone's going to find a barrel out here, it's going to be Kelly. We saw last year did that. And you can see how he just gets forward on the board, drags that hand, slows himself down. Nice little barrel. I don't think it's going to be the score that he's looking for, though, Joe. He's kind of had to manufacture that one. I think the judges like it with when you're driving through the tube rather than trying to slow down for it. If he had to come out of that first one, we're looking at some massive scores, but unfortunately not.
So Kelly going for the barrel early this morning through some challenging conditions. Pulled into it one super deep and didn't make it out. Then a smaller exit. Earns himself a 5.33. Kelly still second, needing a 7.84 for the win.
And all of it. So I do look forward to talking to him and telling him about my decision.
Kelly's kind of been this super intimidating person for obviously newcomers to the tour to come up against in recent times, as we see a decent set with some Dolphins out here at Margaret's. But with his current run of poor results, do you think these youngsters like Miguel, like Kolohe, are building a lot of confidence from Kelly's poor streak and actually believe they can beat him?
Well, I think it's just a challenge for them. As you're a rookie, you kind of...
Kolohe and Andino leading the charge, 8.33 and a 6.33. Kelly Slater now needing a 7.84 for the win. Miguel Pupo comboed 3.17, 1.93. Focusing on Andino. We've been talking about him working so hard on the qualifying series to keep his spot on tour. This year feels completely different.
Have a look at that. That's the beauty of our sport. I mean, we get special guests showing their faces. The real locals showed up, Joe. Have a look at this. Miguel Pupo was taking off on this wave, and the Dolphins were riding this one. So obviously saying to Miguel, hey, this is the one. This is the one. Miguel took off on the right hand of the Dolphins, went left. And Miguel, you can see how difficult it is to ride. That chatter off the bottom, your board just doesn't want to engage. Hard to get that drive out of your turns. You can see just pushing against the wind constantly. So Miguel, just a small score of a 3.17.
And beating the next generation. And that ended up coming true for Slater a couple of years back. As we go into the heat recap, Andino with a really solid start, Potts.
Yeah, you know, super solid start. Obviously that 6.33. And he's backed it up with another good score. But you can see just really tough conditions here this morning. And Kolohe's navigated around the bump and lump to fit some good turns in. Finished off nicely on this occasion. So Kolohe and Andino leading the charge at the moment. Kelly, though, I'll tell you what, he's looking fired up. Round one, obviously, there's no elimination, so these guys will get another shot. But Kelly's looking definitely on point right now. Just lacking that wave selection at the moment. Needing a 7.84 to get himself back in the heat, but definitely looks like he wants it. This is the best wave of the heat right now. Beautiful opening turn right there. Kolohe and Andino on a roll, Joe.
Love the decision making for turns for Andino. He always has this new element of surprise. He's so formed out off the bottom. He can do a layback power pack to start. He's always reliable with that twist and wrap power game, and he'll save that air work when the wind gets more favorable, with a chance to skip round two right into round three and also send one of the legends of the sport into that second round. Andino with priority will pulled Kelly off the left, squaring up vertically. A massive power hook in the pocket for Kolohe. Fading cutback, squares up vertical. He's got a little bit of room now. Backside carve off the top, and Andino gets to showcase that backhand talent. Now Kelly just flying away out the back, and it looks like we've heard the horn sound. Andino with a solid matchup on paper, and he took control at the early stages with a 6.33 and an 8.33, and he'll probably get a decent number for that left pot.
I think he's going to better his situation, that's for sure. I mean, that was a really good wave. It's one of those lefts that you just pick off, and I think Kolohe knew that Kelly was had his eye on it and literally shut Kelly down. So you see a little bit of frustration from Kelly there, realizing that that was his only shot at getting this heat, swinging this heat. That was definitely a 7.84. I think it's going to be up in the 8s for Kolohe.
We talked about Kolohe maybe struggling to find results early in his career on the CT, but he hasn't really had too much trouble with Kelly in his career. That's his 5th win over Slater with the CT jersey on as a big part of the top 34. Andino, part of the top 5, takes a big win to move on to round 3.